So here we go into game one, match one of our Battle for Zendikar draft. Got a bit of an intro there, which we're working on, and get that all sorted out and tidied up soon. There's the opening hand. I'm going to keep that. It's one land hand, but you can see we've got two salvage drones. The fortified rampart to stop us bleeding out too much in the early game. As long as we can find enough lands, we've got two of our bombs there on Severum and the spoiler. Nice bit of removal in the Royal's Retribution, so yeah, if we can get these early ingest triggers, our bit of processing is going to be coming in handy. So he's got, we know he's playing planes and a one drop of his own. Okay, I wonder whether he'd be willing to trade my ingester for his flying. Oh, nice land. Let's go to our attack step, see if he trades. He doesn't trade, so we're going to get that ingest trigger. And given that he hasn't traded, there's no point going with the rampart because he'll just fly right over it, so we will drop a second salvage drone. Let's see if we can find a way to get all three of our ingest triggers. Remember, we only need three. I mean, any more are fine. It's a card out of his deck, but we only actually need three. Two for the despoiler, and one for the other guy who gains 5 life. I forget his name. Ooh, Reckless Cohort. Okay. That's not a problem. I mean, we're probably going to drop the fortified rampart next turn anyway, so he won't get any value out of that creature for now. And it has got to attack every turn until it hits an ally. Oh. Okay, Clutch of Currents, that changes things. So I'm just going to do that straight away. And bounce the cohort straight back to his hand. And that will give us our second and third ingest triggers. Because we only need 3, we can then start to use these chump blockers, loot effects when they die. There's quite a lot going on that card for 1 blue mana. Probably, I think it's safe to say he's not going to see constructed play, but in the draft format, you can get some value out of it. You can make it do a lot of work. We're seeing a Castigator go into the exile zone. Well, you ain't going to get any value out of that out of us running no Scions, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's still a 3-1. And we see another Kite Scale Scout. So he's getting his air defences online, or his air attack online, and the cohort comes back down. Not worried about the cohort. As I said, we're going to drop the rampart next turn. He's going to keep chipping away with those flyers. But we hit 5 mana, we can just Royal's Retribution. So if he can't hit an ally, that Reckless Cohort's got to attack into our wall every turn. And then the choice will be whether he swings in with the flyers and risks the ingest triggers. He's debating. Well, he's going straight to combat. Now, Cohort's got to come. There's no choice in that. Will he swing in with the flyers? No, there's a lot of debating going on there. Well, this is a no-brainer. This is pretty much a pointless effect for him. I mean, he's got no choice, but let's see what he does in his second main. If anything. What have we got? Ooh, Tunneling Geopode. So it's 3-2 with a landfall effect. Whenever a land comes in, you can ping me for 1. Been very lucky with his hand. We've not really. I think we missed 1 land drop, which was for a Clash of Clans. And if I'm going to miss a land drop, that is the card to do it for. 1 mana away from our Royal's Retribution, but he is starting to get online with that board presence. Okay, he's going to attack, so obviously he's still got to swing in with that cohort. I'll continue to block it and see what magic he's got in the second main. Well, there we go. Hitting all the mana today. Royal's Retribution is now viable. Of course, I want to see him attacking with more than just that cohort to be really worth it. Do I want to swing in? I don't want to swing with the salvage drones. At the moment, a loot effect, I'm going to be hard pressed to find something better than what I currently got in hand. I'll save those when I've got lands in hand I don't really need. So I repeated the last step, swinging in a cohort, blocking with a wall. I think we're both looking for additional options. Second main. Well, it's got to be really hurting him to miss these land drops. Well, I'll quite happily play head on to Greathorn. That will allow me to start applying a bit of pressure to him. First strike's going to hurt. At the moment he's got nothing, unless he double blocks, or even triple blocks, he's going to need to do to get the Undo Greathorn down, which is a lot of risky investment, especially since I know I'm sitting on a Royal's Retribution. Okay, well, the cohort no longer needs to attack because he's got that blade well. Also, not too worried about the rally effect because so far we've got 5 creatures of these on the board and only 2 of them are allies. Maybe he couldn't really hit that ally synergy that he was clearly going for. The kite sail seemed like a thing that he just added in at the end. 1-drops, I mean, you don't really need a 1-drop in Battle for Zendikar draft. A lot of players are going to be skipping those turns. And let's be honest, how often do you die to a 1-drop? Unless it's Dragon Master Outcast. Well, that solved my flying issue. It'd be nice to see that 6 mana, but that is going to stop the air threat from him. My flyer is bigger than his flyer. Having vigilance means I'm going to start applying pressure with it. And let's not give him the option to remove the undo. Not until I hit a landfall trigger at least. So he's finally hit his land drop. He's going to ping me. I mean, it's viable. It's doable. I mean, it's not setting the world alight with being able to ping for 1 damage every turn, but it is something I'm going to need to address eventually. Does he attack? I don't think there's really a reason. Any attack he does at this point, it's going to be bad for him. And there's the land. So, playing things in second main is always best, so let's go to attacks. See if I can bait a couple of blocks with that Undo Greathorn. Let's give him a lot of options. Triple block's going to cost him then a little bit of extra damage if he does it. What do you got? What do you got? Come on. Couple more blocks and did not expect that. Okay, just a cohort. Okay, and a GP. I think it's going to be a Royals. Royals is definitely worth it here. Remove 2 of his creatures. Mine should survive. I mean, he's got all his mana up. He's got combat tricks available, but being worried someone's got mana up is never a reason to not play things. He's got something, otherwise he would have passed faster. Ooh, tandem tactics. Okay. So, what's it get? They all get 2 extra toughness. So GP's still going to die. And he can keep his cohort because definitely the better one to remove is the bit GP'd. We're going to get 2 loot effects, but I don't know. The best I can just get some lands in the graveyard. I don't really need much more than 6. So let's see what we can get. Yeah, ditch the drone. He's not going to make an impact anymore. Let's have a look at the next card. Yeah, ditch the land. So don't need it. Probably going to look to do Ulamog's Despoiler next turn. Process 2 and have a 9/9. Really crank up that pressure. Good thing to remove the GP as he hits his 5th land drop. There's a lot of hesitation here. Don't see what options he's really got. At best he can come at me with 3 points of damage. Doesn't really seem enough to be risky losing 2 creatures over it, or at least 1 creature. Ooh, sheer drop. I bet he was wishing he could have awakened that right now. And he's definitely going to be wishing he held on to that sheer drop once I drop this Despoiler. Let's drop the land. 7 is probably my top end for land. I think I've got the sheer drop 6. You want another land to be able to animate and swing at the same turn. So after 7, and then obviously the other Eldrazi is a 7 drop. After that, there's just not any reason to have any more land. I've got all I need. I've got my double blue, I've got double white. I'm sorted. So he's got to be feeling that pressure right now. Ulamog's Despoiler is lethal in his own right. The Ghostly is applying a lot of pressure in the air. Unified front, you can have your first strike as much as you like. 1/1s aren't really going to be cutting it. I suppose he gives him chump blockers for a couple of turns, but yeah. What can he do? He can block Ghostly for 2 turns. The Despoiler for a couple more turns after that. Feladar's going to start gaining life. Oh, there you go. Well, that would be the game right there. Coralhelm Guide. 2 mana into that. The other 5 mana into making Ulamog's Despoiler unblockable. And that's the game. I'm guessing we're going to move to game 2. Catch you then.